ideas of like he just opened the door normally. In your head, Aki, the way he opened that door.
It was vivid too.
Alejandro. Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of We Are Fio
#Figuring It Out.
Yep, it's another new episode. My name is Wambui.
My name is Lucky Gondu.
And welcome to a new series that we are doing.
What I wish I knew.
What I wish I knew about a lot of things. That.
Oh, I have missed you.
Yeah, we haven't shot together in a minute.
I know. Love you.
Those guests that have come between us.
I know.
We see you, but we love you. Thank you.
Ana bana ignore hapa.
Na
una blush unataka kuangalia huko karibu ende chini ya kiti.
Sasa unataka aje kwa hii episode?
Like,
oh, I missed you.
Yeah.
La is always so dramatic, by the way. If you guys don't know, she's the most dramatic of the both of us. But welcome to another new episode. If you haven't followed us, please
follow us at we_r_fio in all our social media platforms. On YouTube is We Are Fio, on Spotify We Are Fio, and make sure that you hit the subscription button and the notification bell so that anytime you release such amazing episodes, you get notified. And also share with your friends and family. They need to gather this knowledge that you outpour.
It's a lot of content.
Yes.
So yeah, we are talking about
what?
Relationships and dating. So what I wish I knew. And you know, we are older people. We are more mature. We have lived on this earth for more than
those years that we have.
We are closer to 30 than we are to 25.
I know.
So there's a lot of wisdom.
Our brain has developed, because when you reach 25, that's when like your brain has developed to like maturity.
So mature adults speaking. Take notes, please.
But why do you think that people are usually so interested and intrigued around conversations on dating and relationships? Because even in churches flock in February, because February is really like the month of love, and most churches do like a love series, or even on podcasts, you're more likely to, or mostly women to be honest, to be pulled towards like listening to a love kind of conversation more than like, you know, this is how your brain works, how to increase your productivity and stuff. I think it's so interesting. I'm a victim.
And actually most of the episodes where we have couples or we've talked about love, we've had a lot of people just watching.
Yeah.
And I think it's just people love love, right? And innately you want to feel loved.
Yeah.
And then not just friendship or family love. You want to venture out there and find that one person that's for you. So I think it's a mystery, and mysteries are pulling.
Yeah.
And it's also just having somebody that's just yours.
Yeah, I think it's because essentially human beings are in nature meant for connection. But I feel like it's also because we put relationship at a pedestal, which essentially should not be the case. But I also feel like it's also one of the relationship that mirrors self. There's no other relationship that mirrors self as a romantic relationship and the interconnection of, because I feel like the other relationship I think that can do that is friendship. But the other relationship are like they are in your life. Yes, you have to intentionally be present, but you also did not have such an interest. For your friendships and for your relationships, where you're like, I'm choosing this person to be in my life, they tend to be a reflection, because that's a reflection of choice of who you are. Yeah. And so it's and I feel like a lot of people, because of that kind of thing, I think you can learn so much about yourself just from the kind of relationship choice you make for yourselves.
And you can't even, those are not things like you can hide.
Yeah. And but we don't usually see it that way. Even when you check your friend dating someone, do you ever think that the choice that your friend has made is a reflection of who your friend is?
I think when we've now grown right now is when I look back at our friends, like even our siblings and the people they've dated. Right now, I'm like, were they feeling a certain way about themselves to have a certain person in their life? Maybe who was not worthy. So does it reflect that there was something maybe they could have done better as their friends or their siblings, so that they feel like they deserve more than that? Right now is when I'm having that realization. But when we were dating back in uni,
it was too ile ya mapenzi
it was the gerest.
Sitaki
kusema live on, we moved on, but we will tell you what we wish we did.
So we can start.
Yeah, let's get into it.
Yeah.
As my notes do not want to show up. What I wish I knew about dating and relationships. I think the first one is you will unintentionally date your mom or your dad. Right? You will not know it at the time. Yeah, but it's very, very high that you will date what you have seen in your environment. So you will date your mom or you will date your dad. Yeah. Like what you experienced.
Yeah.
And it can be the exact. So like in my situation, I had growing up there, it was not very calm.
Yeah.
It was a bit violent. So you would date somebody who's like that in the like beating and stuff like that, or violent in terms of emotions, like somebody who is manipulative. You will date a version or the exact copy of your mom or dad. That's something I learned, and I wish I
also was or you look for the exact opposite of what you saw.
Yeah, exactly.
But I also think, actually, because I said that, I was like, a lot of things in our lives are usually informed of what is around our environment. And I think we are. I feel like we are very conscious about that ideology when it comes to other things, but not in terms of relationships.
Yeah.
Because essentially, if you look at like the kind of jobs you'd go for in any industry, people go for what they have seen around. It's so easy to find if in your household is a doctor, and there's someone in that family, one of the siblings will become a doctor.
Yeah.
It's very difficult to find other people deviate from what they have essentially seen.
Yeah.
So that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
I think for me, what I wish I knew about relationship and dating. First, I think dating is about self.
Yeah.
Dating is about you. Like, it's about knowing whether this person makes you happy, how you feel about this person, whether this person you're compatible or not. And I feel sometimes you go into dating asking yourself, does this person like me?
Yeah.
For the other person. And I feel like dating is a space in which you get to evaluate, is something good for me? It's like when you're going for shopping and then you choose something, you're like, hey, nah. Okay, this, I'll buy this. And then you make a choice. So, and at that point, you're usually thinking, does this make me feel good or does it not? And sometimes you go into a relationship and maybe just like, hey, Connie, this guy likes me. He doesn't. How does it make you? You don't ask us like, do I feel good after this date? Sometimes you're too excited about the date than even the person.
You even build ideas of like he just opened the door normally. In your head, Aki, the way he opened that door.
It was really true.
Alejandro.
Hectic. Yeah. So I think one of the things I'm consciously doing in my dating season is being a bit taking reflective moments after dates to ask myself how I felt about that and things that I noted, and if those are things that sit well with me. And I feel like when you're dating, you're allowed to cut off a situation with, like, sorry to say, but the greatest of results that you think that you didn't manage.
Yeah.
It's not a good thing, but it's allowed than you progressing it and then later on coming to say, man, I don't like how he laughs. And I cannot stand it after 2 years.
Yeah, and then maybe some of those things
you find someone who laughs better.
And it's okay to date multiple people because dating is an open field.
Yeah, I think it's okay. You should actually date multiple people.
Maybe behind the camera is like,
yeah, I think it's important to date multiple. Because if you're starting out,
yeah,
when you already understood what you're looking for, I think it's important that you go and have different kind of experiences.
I agree.
And then as you experience these people, you're going to like become a sales funnel.
Yeah.
Utendo kipunguza.
At the same you like a HOE, but
we are not saying that you sleep around. Sleeping around and dating is two different things.
Yeah.
It's because we have equated dating with sleeping, with having sex. But that should not be the case. I feel like you should meet several people, go out on different dates, do different activities with different people, and then you'll kind of get your flow towards a certain kind of person. And then you'll be like, okay, I think I want to give this person more of my time. I want to get to know this person, I think, more than the others.
Yeah.
And then being clear about it. And you can do that if you don't know how to communicate. And with this Nairobi, man, people are not communicating. Tunachana, tunagustiana, tunavoidiana, you know. You know, so I feel like it's important, like people learn how to. I feel like if you know how to communicate, you can be able to actually date multiple people.
Yeah.
And be honest and open about it, and I think it's okay, and you should be able to have space around that. Yeah.
And the probability that you get a partner is higher when you widen, you cast your net
widely.
Yeah. But mostly you will end up with maybe somebody who's a friend of a friend or a connection from a friend.
There's that a higher probability.
Mostly, it's a higher probability. Yeah. Okay. Something else I wish I knew about dating and relationships. That nagging feeling that you're feeling about the person you're dating or you're in a relationship with, that's telling you, ish, it's true. That feeling is accurate. You guys, right?
Yeah.
And you need to listen.
Yeah.
It's hard and it's very, very uncomfortable, and you feel it, like you can feel it like something fleeting, and then it goes away, and then you feel it again, and then it goes away.
Yeah.
But it's a self-preservation kind of thing. Like it's you in your being trying to communicate to you that this one is not.
And they don't have to have done something.
Yeah, they don't need to have done anything. It's just a gut feeling. And I think as we've grown up, especially in this African society, we're not taught to trust our gut. Right? You're not taught to trust what you're feeling is true. Yeah. When you cry, you're told don't cry.
Don't cry.
You know,
when you're angry,
when you're given something, you're told usionyeshe watu wengi. Like you're not allowed to feel, express yourself.
And mostly when the feelings are quote unquote negative, there are no negative emotions.
Exactly.
They are all emotions. Emotions are a signal of something internally.
Yeah. So I feel like what I wish I knew was that nagging feeling is my way of preserving myself, and I should have listened earlier. Yeah. So that's, you learn the hard way, but you learn either way.
Yeah. I think I had the same of like be able to just sit down with yourself and kind of listen to that internal compass of what it is. And I think also believing in energies. Me, I think I have something around energies. Like if our energy kind of a bit of like it's not lining up. Energy is just like a feeling, you know, kind of. I think it's okay to just tell someone. There's something Lydia said. You know, most times you just tell someone, I don't think this would work for me. Like it's and then this is not that me and you situation. Like I don't think this is working for me, and I think it's okay. And I feel like because I don't know what did they want to say. That feeling of feeling I can't tell someone this does not work for me is because you're afraid the other person will feel bad, and you're not in charge of anyone's feelings apart from your own. Yeah.
Full stop.
You're not in charge of anyone's feeling apart from your own.
Yeah.
One thing I think I mentioned about dating. Dating in community. Dating is about community. The people who can give you the best of guidance, or even help you with like knowing if this is the person. You don't need to do dating alone. Introduce the people that you're seeing to even your friends. Invite them in scenarios where there are other people who know you, and can see you and give you feedback about how you are around this person, not about the other person. Your friends don't know about the guy you're dating, but your friends knows about you. So they know when you start, you become very closed out. When you're around this person, they're able to point out and say, hey, yo, yeah, there's a way when you're around this person, it doesn't feel like you're being yourself. And so they're able to call you. And I see this in movies, but I don't see this in our society. I see in movies where guys come, when parents are like, oh, call your friend to come for dinner, or or someone invites you for a birthday party for a friend, and these people just like met, and so now you're able to like see and assess, But I feel like we don't have that so much in our society. I feel like we are taught on how to hide our people until a time
it's
comes.
also like when you want to introduce a guy to your leave alone friends, family. It's also like how you grew up.
Yeah,
right. Even like the way you would look at your mom and dad, you wouldn't see husband and wife. You're seeing mom and dad.
Oh yeah.
Right? So it's fearful also to be like, am I taking a guy home and what will they think if I take a guy home? It's also that it's the way we were brought up also makes it very uncomfortable to take somebody home. Yeah, I think it also like has a part to play.
But I think when you're dating, I think it's just important to have your dating like in a community kind of sense.
Yeah.
And maybe totally like, is this the right person? Is it me? And then your friends have to be like, you have to have friends who like tell you as it is, not whatever you want to hear. Not just because you're texting your friend. You should remember the guy that I was speaking to the other time. I have another person, and it's those people, like your friends should be able to call you out and say, you're roaming the streets. The other one is, it's 2 days. In 1 week, this person has been with 10 people. So I think having a community around your dating, and mostly if you're doing it intentionally, is so important so that you have people who can check you. And also, you can also see things that you're not able to see. Because most times, if you're interested in someone, you want to create the best of scenarios of who they are in your mind, and you might not see the reality of who they are.
And then how they gel with your friends. Right?
I think Nico's because I'm very conscious about that right now.
Because you also don't want like somebody who makes your friends uncomfortable. You remember like there's this friend of a family member of ours who came home and hit on all of us. Hit on me, hit on you, hit on myself. And I'm like, where this train does not have a stop.
I know. And that is just like, and even you don't want to be around such energies. But something else I actually, on an episode I was listening to, it was around teaching children how to build wealth and how those rich families do. And one of the most fundamental things that you don't think about when you're growing up and when you're dating and then getting married is the kind of friends you keep around and their values around raising children. You cannot tell your child that there's no using tab, but akienda kwa kina nani, they're allowed to watch TV the whole day. How your group of friends need to have nearly similar values around what family and that kind of setting is, for you to be able to bring out your kids without a lot of conflict. Because there's an alignment between your friendships and how your reasoning around life, how you view things is quite aligned, that even when you're bringing your children together, there's not so much friction between what your child does and what your child does. And so that's what the guy was saying, is like, for them, their friends have like near similar values. And so if their kids are taught a certain way to do things, it's not difficult when they go to a kinananis to find something extremely different. Because most times your friends, you hang out with them so much, or hang out with the families. The families hang out so much. And so because of that, you need to make sure that there's a bit of people that you're more aligned with, and you're not like having very different
And I think about our kids, I think they'll be very outdoorsy. It's not an option.
watakuwa na diet na on squat
So hivi kwanza
na gym tunawatengenezea hoja.
And that's something
Yes,
I
very
really,
children.
look forward to. Like the vision of being, because all of us, we are outdoorsy.
Yeah.
We love being outside. And it's nice, like when you think about 10 years to come and the kind of environment your child will be in is an environment that's outside. And, you know, it's always nice to picture that.
And we deviate.
And we're back. Something else I wish I knew about dating. Breakups won't kill you. You're not gonna die, honey. You are not gonna die. It will feel like the world has ended. You will feel like, you know how they say, like, this heart is not this heart. You will feel pain in this heart. The one on your left. So, but breakups won't kill you. You will learn a lot through that process, because it will open your eyes to some of the things that you are blind to.
Yeah. For yourself and also for the relationship itself.
Yeah, you will learn a lot about yourself. And I think for me, one of my worst breakups showed me how I was dating a version of what I had seen at home. But it wasn't it wasn't the exact thing. But there were certain traits within that relationship that were similar to what I had at home. So the breakup showed me that. It opened my eyes. I was like, yo, Rita, you are so blind. And I feel like when I went through, as I was going through the breakup and the shock of the things that led to it, it was very painful. And there was a lot of shame attached and a lot of guilt, right? Because you are seeing some of the things that you called out, maybe some of the things that I called out people at home for. And then I was in the same situation, so I felt like a hypocrite, right?
Yeah.
So, but then the whole process really, like, it opened my eyes, and I sat in the pain. I remember I sat in the pain from Kisumu to Nairobi. I was crying all the way because I'd gone
now we know where they come from.
Hey, character development has a name, but anyway. So yeah, I think breakups won't kill you, and breakups will teach you a lot, because you're able to look back. And I think sometimes we don't do that. When you end a relationship, you go into the next. But what went well in that relationship, and then what did not go well, and then what did you learn about yourself, right?
And I feel like embracing like the heartbreaks as part of the process will probably make us less resentful when relationship ends, because I feel like nowadays people are very hurt. There's part of the trauma, yes, that comes with that, but also knowing that part of being vulnerable and opening up in a relationship equals a high probability of getting hurt. Actually, and you can still get hurt. Someone can still hurt you even if you're not broken now. But pain is part of the process, because of the process of being vulnerable and opening up. Yeah. It's part of the process. And I think somehow maybe us with that mentality of like, it might happen, maybe would help us be more open to also just still also going into the relationships. I feel like because right now people are very angry, and then all of us are tiptoeing around dating and relationship. Hakuna mtu anataka kuonekana ni kama ndio the most vulnerable. Na hakuna mtu anataka kuonekana ati wewe ndio kuna mapenzi na feelings. Kila mtu anaingia relationships kuzina na hama na kifua. Utanipenda kama unipendi, kuna wengine, you know.
And it feels like a cry for help.
Like, you know, kama unipendi, I'm ready to get out. But then this person is so miserable. Like, you feel so miserable because you want someone to love you, you want someone to accept you, but also you're also not giving that the same thing to the other person, because the same thing you want is high likely that the other person is the same thing they're looking for. They also want to be loved, seen, and heard, and you also want to be loved, seen, and heard. But being loved, seen, and heard is about you cannot be seen if you're closed down. You cannot be heard when you don't speak. You know.
So, like a soap opera, literally. Like the lady and the guy, then the guy wants to be loved, and then you're told in the soap, so like there are times when they're thinking about it, they're expressing it, but they're not telling the person.
That they
so you go through a whole soap opera for like months, waiting for these guys to like come to the table
Yeah.
and just be honest.
I think the other thing is dating should be fun. Like enjoy the process of going on dates, dressing up, looking good, smelling nice. The drama, you're your friend's entertainment.
Yes, I agree.
So just have fun when dating, and just be open-minded to learning, to experiencing, to listening, for new perspectives, but also just making sure that whatever you're looking for, that like the grounding things for you. Then there are those things that are like, okay, you can see, is he short? Is he younger than you? Are those things that are a huge issue? Whether they have an accent on how they speak, is that a deal breaker? But are they unkind? Are they like knowing things that are okay and like okay, you can see they're like those that are like okay, up and no, and then they're just like okay, we can see.
Yeah.
So I think like defining those things, but at the end of the day, like enjoy the process of dating and meeting people. And you can date if you're in your house. And you can't be
remote
dating.
workers.
Yeah, and I was telling a friend of mine how it's different when I feel like online dating is different from like physically dating. Like when you met someone, like for the first time you met even Leonana, macho kwa macho. Now you're on Bumble and you're meeting someone via text. And I feel like it's different because online you can create a perception of who you are and act it out for some time, but when you meet physically, I've just met you, so it's easier for you to just have seen me as just me without even the consideration that you can be anything.
Yeah.
The fact that you're in a dating app, the reasoning behind that is that you're already dating. You're either looking for dating, you're looking for a casual thing, or a serious thing, or so like
you can't gauge vibe.
And you can't gauge vibe until the first time you meet.
Yeah.
Yeah, and maybe couple 1 month, 3 months, ushakwa married.
Uko in a relationship.
But you've never met, and then when you meet, things are just you are not even able to speak to each other. So I feel like there's a whole difference towards it. And so for me now, like I'm more like if you have spaces where you can meet people physically, then better. But also online dating is an option, and we are on a technological time. So utilize technology and digital platforms. At LinkedIn and introduce dating site called LinkedIn. Yeah, professionals. Tunapatana huko. Itakuwa another, what do they call it in America? It's not Hinge. There's actually in States there's a dating app for professionals. I forgot to
like unaangalia mtu unaona ni sisuit ama sisuit and then you make a decision.
I know.
Yeah.
Like that would bring it down to like what do you do?
What do you do?
There's a discussion
how much do you earn?
That was hard. Would what someone does affect the choice of whether you would date them or not?
Yes, it would.
It would.
Yeah, there are certain careers that I would.
What are they? Because you're very quick to say you would. What are they? What
I'm
are
not a
these
hater,
careers?
but me, I'm fearful of guys in sales. What if Mimi need the product? Like me, I'm fearful of guys in sales. Cause I don't know. I just feel like
They're good talkers.
They're good talkers. They're smooth talkers. So I would always be like on my toes. Like for me, that one is scary. Even lawyers. Sometimes I'm always like, hey, am I caught? Where I wouldn't date,
but you'd think twice.
I would think more than twice. I would be like, are there other career choices available? Yes. Then isn't I can give you
it's not like in the creative industry, like
in the creative industry? No, I think people in creative industries are very expressive.
Like someone who's an artist and they go on tours and
I would date them and be their manager.
Yeah, do your remote work.
I
feel like for me it depends with how different in our career would impact our lives. Setting out. Because I feel like there are things that need to at least be aligned in a way for you to start to establish a certain kind of foundation. And but also I'm attracted to intelligence. So there's if I'm unable to have sapio sexual conversations with you, there's a high likelihood that we might not work.
You need to be smart.
So if you, so like there are things maybe someone would tell me, in my head maybe I'm not attracted to them because of what they do, but maybe because of what they do, we are not able to have like intense conversations.
Yeah.
And for me, actually there's a TikTok video I've listening to, oh my god, and they're just putting how people say, when people talk about sapiosexual and how like that sapiosexual intelligence leads to physical attraction and how that integrates to intimacy. Oh,
It's true.
it is a whole different level.
Yeah.
And I think we were talking about this, about how also it's important for you to have admiration of your partner. And how admiration helps you respect
Yeah.
for your partner. So if I do not feel like I admire and like see you as like admire who you are, what you do, and your brain, and just like that intrigue, like that intriguing feeling you get when someone is just like they're talking about something they're interested in and stuff like that, then there's a high likelihood I may not be attracted to you because maybe I don't find you as intriguing as.
Yeah. And I think it's very true. It equates to intimacy. Because there are times when you're the person you're seeing or you're dating or your partner.
Yeah.
Kwanza right now when they're talking about the finance bill and then they explain the lingo. I'm just like, ooh.
Tumalize.
Hot.
Biashara zingine zinafaa.
Nimeelewa finance bill. Usiende zaidi ya hapo.
Can we proceed please?
So please be smart. Understand the finance bill. Let's come and explain. You might just get a date. Something else I wish I knew. Have I forgotten? I had a point. Dating is like gambling, right?
Yeah.
It's like gambling. You there's no guarantee.
Yeah.
There's no this person because umepatana LinkedIn on the new LinkedIn app. There's no guarantee that the person is a fit, and there's no guarantee that it would work. It's like a game of chess.
Yeah.
Right? So that's something I learned because even when I was not looking,
that's when it came along.
that's when I found.
Should I give this story?
Because they're living my life.
Mimi, imwaka,
Si date.
ata, wanaume mimi, I cannot. That just when I'm about to finish that sentence. I can end that day player. No sooner had she.
So back to my point. Yeah, so nimemaliza point yangu hiyo. Well, it's a game of chess.
Yeah. Just to know that Instagram. You find them when you're not looking.
Hey, you guys.
Oh my god. Yeah. I think what I wish I knew, something else. No, so today before we started this conversation, we were actually having this and we said we're going to talk about it a bit.
Yeah.
About the difference between how women perceive love and how men perceive love. And so we watched this thing on TikTok where the guy was saying that men love more authentically than women. And all the women in that set were like, what? Please repeat what you've said.
Hey, they nearly removed him.
They nearly removed him. And the guy was like, I have said men love more authentically than women. And also, by the time he said that, the person was like, how do you invalidate me as a woman with my feelings? And then the guy said, women are taught on how to love the process of love. And it's easier for us. Whoever we come across, it's easier for us to box that person into this whole process of love. And actually people say it's easier for a woman to grow in love with a man than it is for a man to grow in love with a woman.
Yeah.
If they did not love that woman from the start, it is high likely that they will not end up
falling
in love with this person.
So true.
But for a woman, they might actually end up developing feelings for this woman. And the guy said, for men, when men start falling in love for a woman, it's actually scary for them. And I think people can attest to this, that when they start getting serious, they start becoming a bit fidgety and avoidancy. MIA.
But we're not saying because Anaku
is falling in love with you. No. Please do not take it that way. For them, it's because when love equates responsibility. So the fact that they now have this kind of feeling towards you, they feel responsible of you. And actually, something else that has locked in my mind, and that now brings me, like I was telling you what we're being taught in church, but men's nature is leadership. And so I think that's why love equates for them responsibility, because in manhood, even in nature, equates leadership. And so when they are in love with you, they feel now they have a responsibility over you as a person they love, and they need to protect and provide. So and I think somehow I agree. I kind of agree to that, because I feel like sisi tunakwanga like hapo hata ukisikiza our stories as women, akikana venye alifungua hiyo mlango
venye alinihug ni kama alinishow tu feelings zake zote hiyo time.
Acha nikwambie, nyi amjui,
hamwifeel we are our own disruptors.
And I've seen, and people say like the man will do, like a man does what, like if he wants to do something, he'll do it. And we have had so many stories of guys who have been in a relationship for 10 years. The guy never proposed, even talked about the future. Then they meet someone 4 months.
Wife.
Wedding. Ratio.
Hey! That's nagging feeling you're feeling.
Yeah. Okay. Trust it with heart.
Hi, another one. The last one. What I wish I knew about dating and relationships. I think I talked about the gut in terms of the nagging feeling. And I think it's trust the process. Don't rush the dating part. Don't rush the, like date today, date tomorrow.
Let's talk every day.
Let's do this together all the time. Trust the process. This is to say, we can date for 2 weeks and then be official. We can date for 2 months and be official. We can date for a year and be official. There's no standard. Right? Just trust your process of dating and your process of the relationship.
And I think trust yourself first.
I
think it's trusting yourself. Trust yourself that the decision that you make is right for you.
And then like having these things of you cannot compromise on. Like take time and sit with yourself. And this is something that I've learned, right now in my maturity era.
So mature.
Is staying, like being quiet within yourself and listening to yourself.
And it's uncomfortable.
It's very uncomfortable, yes. But you learn a lot about yourself. You even learn things that you're like, oh my God, I appreciate this about myself. And then when you come to that, when you're going to meet the other person, there's no confusion, at cloudiness, at butterflies. You know what you want. You know how they make you feel. You know what you would want this relationship to look like for you. So you're able to now go there and then let it be at its pace. Hauna ile anxiety kind to have sex lini. To have sex at kama mimi gym. That goes down.
And even if you feel it, then you have tools to regulate yourself. You have tools to regulate yourself. Like when you feel like, then you're able to be like, okay, calm. You're able to calm yourself. Because you might feel that rush to want to do, to chase, to need.
Because it's also new, it's
fresh. There's that kind of like dopamine, adrenaline that is driving you innately, but then you have tools. Like you calming yourself is a tool to settle those adrenaline down and be like, okay, how am I actually really feeling about this? And also, it's not just about like it's also about calling yourself. There's appreciating yourself and also calling yourself out and being like, oh my God, I was rude.
Yeah.
I was telling them there's a time someone called me and I was so nonchalant about the call.
Yeah.
I mean, like the person was asking me questions like, okay, sour, okay. And they were canceling a date. And they're like, are you sure you're okay? Come here, I'm good. And then the call ended. I was like, shit. Oh my God. If I was on the other side of that call and even if the one was canceling, I feel like I would have made that person feel so bad. And when I recognized that, I called back to kind of be like, okay, let me be, I don't know, is it more emotional or like more expressive about how this thing made me feel and not nonchalant about it. So I think taking time to reflect and build that consciousness within yourself helps you to even call out yourself on things that you are doing. Because I feel like in relationship we are very quick to point fingers to the other person. Even when you're telling your friends stories, you usually tell them from a point of the other person and not a point of what you also would have attributed. So I think it's very important to constantly check in with yourself during the process. Yeah. And tell your friends to introduce you to people. And friends introduce people to your people. That's how people meet. That's what. Yeah. That's how we end this episode.
Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe. All our social media channels at
we_r_for you. Make sure that you subscribe with the notification bell so that every time we release a new episode, you're notified. Even on Spotify, kuna hiyo follow na bell up for your notification. So make sure that you hit them and also be interactive with our questions on Spotify. Give us feedback on what you think about the episodes. Share with your friends. And also at the end of this episode, you usually have a pay bill number where if you don't have to support us to be able to continue creating this amazing content, we're actually gonna put it down here, director. Down here, so that if you want to contribute and support our content, we really appreciate that. And thank you so much for the support that you've been giving us.
Thank you. Let us know what you wish you knew about dating and relationships. And on that note, see you on the next one.
Bye-bye.
Pets.